Just playing basketball, responding the right way, just understanding how the game's going to be played, how it's going to be officiated, and responding that way. So, playing back.
22 changes in this game. What did you feel like you guys didn't quite have to get over the hump late in overtime?
I mean, it's just high-level basketball out there, especially in that third quarter. It was like nobody was missing, and a lot of their shots were tough fadeaway twos. And but kudos to them. It's probably one of the best teams in the NBA. And we just didn't get enough stops.
What went into your duel with Marcus Smart, and do you feel like that fueled you a little bit down the stretch of this one?
Nothing. I mean, that's who he is. That's his job on the team. Just playing basketball, and sure, yeah. I guess that got me going, but I felt like I was already going, so wasn't doing nothing.
Just wanted to go through the last couple possessions in regulation. Just you're obviously in a couple isolation situations. What were you looking for there? What did you like? What did you not like about just how those last couple possessions went?
The shot I missed over Horford, I thought it was a good look for me. And then I should have shot the first one against Marcus, but I thought I had a timeout left, 4 seconds, and I had an open one on the switch. And like the miscommunication, didn't shoot it. And then when I got to step back, I lost the ball and then shot it. But I missed those shots, and that's on me. I should have got us a better one, so put it on me.
I just don't know what happened as far as the Tatum putback, which is kind of all transpired, I guess, on that play.
Yeah, I think we were in scramble mode. They airballed, so when Marcus shot it, I was a little surprised. I didn't even realize that there had been an airball. We were in scramble, and so, when you get a rebound initially, now everybody's in scramble mode, nobody's there, allowed for a tip-in.
Myles obviously 40 tonight. I mean, just especially with all the threes, 8 out of 10, and just how impressive was his game all around tonight?
Man, he played really good, really good. Helped us in a lot of different ways, made some big shots in the third quarter. He was really good for us.
Obviously, the glass is tough for you guys with the lineups you put out there, especially with the size that they have. But, I mean, 50 to 37, I think 20 to 10, just how much does that kind of sting tonight, I guess, especially in a really well-played game when every point mattered?
Yeah, obviously it's irritating, but a lot of it has to do with me just coming down, rebounding, giving up second-chance points. So, yeah, it's frustrating right now, but I'll try to figure it out.
Before we talk about this game, I want to just extend congratulations to Jim Boylan and Team USA, who tonight, by beating Uruguay 88-77, officially qualified the United States for the World Cup. And it's been a long, arduous task. They've been working these USA windows with players from everything from G League to guys that are European, guys that may not have been playing at certain points in time, et cetera, et cetera. But Jim has been is one of our consultants this year, coaching consultant. He's done a great job for us, and that has been a monumental task to do that. So, congratulations to him. And as far as this game goes, I mean, I just love the fight that our guys brought to the game. They never went away, stayed into it. We weren't perfect. Rebounding continues to be a challenge, but the level of battle and the level of fight was tremendous. And closing out games like this against the top teams on the planet comes down to details, blockouts, loose balls, very thin margins, avoiding fouling shooters, a lot of the things you saw down the stretch.
You talk about this one being a battle and these kind of chippier, more physical games. What is the key to kind of separating yourself in a game like that?
Well, the entire second half in timeouts, I during almost every timeout, talked to the team about, defining plays in this game are going to be physical plays. They're going to be loose ball plays. They're going to be hustle plays. They're going to be charges, stuff like that. We made a lot of loose ball plays. And, Boston's a tough team to play because of their size, strength. They switch extremely well. They junk up the matchups to put you in some quandaries. So, we just, our guys hadn't needed to play basketball. And very quickly get a feel for what the game was going to be about. And, we were down at halftime, but came out with a big run to start the third and put ourselves in position.
This game had 22 lead changes, several in the fourth quarter and overtime. What did you kind of see as the difference that got Boston over the hump in the end?
Well, they kept getting to the free throw line. And I don't want to talk about, free throw disparity, whatever, and whistles. I just we got to foul a little less. I mean, their superstars put a lot of pressure on you, and they were effective getting the whistle to blow. The rebounding. I mean, down the stretch of the fourth, second chances were a big thing. Were a big issue. I mean, 20 offensive rebounds. That's an area where we've got to do better.
Myles ends up with 40, 8 threes, I think is a career high for him. What did you see from him that was key, and how important was he to you guys tonight?
He just played a great game. He was amazingly efficient offensively. Game like this, if you're going to beat Boston, your big's got to be hitting shots. Myles hit 8 threes, and Daniel hit one. And he did damage on the inside too. So, it's just tough. It's a tough team to play. I mean, they got a lot of attackers. I mean, they got Malcolm out there. They got Smart. They got Brown and Tatum. All these guys put tremendous vertical pressure on your defense, and in many instances, we really did some good things to hold our own. But fouling shooters was a problem tonight. That's something we need to look to correct. It's essentially, this is a playoff game. I mean, that's the atmosphere. That's the level of competition. And this is great experience for our guys, even though we didn't win the game.
Obviously, you mentioned fouling shooters a couple times. I guess without getting into what should or should not have been called, I mean, what is it that you want to see your guys do differently, I guess, in some of those positions? I think, obviously, you saw some hands on hips and whatnot. I mean, how do you want to see guys, be maybe more disciplined with closeouts?
You got to contest to the side and avoid contact. You just got to keep your hands off guys. And the three-point shot has become so prolific, and guys are now shooting it from 35, 40 feet, that oftentimes as they shoot, your momentum is moving toward them as you close out, and so it's become harder and harder to contest without making contact. And so it's just something that we've got to continue to work on. In the Western Conference for, however many years James Harden was with Houston, I mean, he was the best one-on-one player on the planet during that period of time, and figuring out ways to contest his shots without fouling was really difficult. So, but now there's just a bunch of guys that cause that same problem, and so we'll look at these examples. We'll play Orlando. They got guys that can do the same thing.
Just, you talked about closing games. What do you like, not like, I guess, about the offensive possessions down the stretch in regulation and in overtime?
Yeah, I've got to do a better job of creating better situations for Ty. He and I talked about it before he came in. We're going to look closely at it. Sometimes the best thing to do is just get out of his way. You try to manipulate the possession so much by bringing up a guy to get a switch and stuff like this, and before you know it, you're up against the clock and there's a crowd. He made a brilliant play at the end of the Miami game that he basically made an eye fake and 3 guys leaned the other way, and he pulled back left and shot it. Tonight he ended up going to his right, kind of into a crowd. I give him credit for getting the ball on the rim and giving it a chance, but we'll look at that. I'll work at helping our team in those situations.
Kind of to that last point, is it deciding whether you want to bring someone or just let them create one-on-one? Is that kind of what will be that next discussion?
I don't want to get too much into strategy here. I mean, I know that Fieldhouse Files has a prolific following. I just want to be careful about sharing too much with the world. But, I mean, you're watching it. You know the game. I mean, it's some of that. And look, I really have trust in Tyrese and the guys that are out there. Calling timeouts in those situations is tough because they can get even better defenders out there and set their defense. I'd rather have our best player out there, maneuvering and directing traffic. But we've got to have a couple of different options that are ways we can go.
And then back to your opening comments about Jim. What led you to bring him in here, and in what ways can you share that you've tried to utilize him this year?
Yeah, he's just he's a guy that I have great respect for. He loves the game. He works at the game. He's been part of staffs. He's been a head coach on 2 Chicago teams that were top defensive teams. He was with 3 others that were championship teams. So he brings a different perspective, and he's been terrific for us. And I just think the work that he's done with USA Basketball has been phenomenal. It's been a great service to our country, and just in terms of our international play. I mean, you can't get to the Olympics until you qualify for the World Cup, and then I believe the way it works is that our bigger team, presumably of NBA players, is going to have to be top 2 in our region, to then move on to the Olympics. It's not automatic anymore. If you win the gold medal, you don't automatically qualify for the Olympics, I don't believe, unless you're the home country. I think that's the only way you do. So he's done tremendous work there. The guys that have played, I know that Langston Galloway is a guy that's played in 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 of the windows. He's been a workhorse during this whole thing, and these guys deserve a debt of gratitude, for what they've done.
I mean, I just think being aggressive. I think the threes were presenting itself the most tonight, and I was just making the most of my opportunities. And my guys were getting me the balls in the right spot, and fortunately for me, it was a great shooting night.
What have you been happiest with this season in terms of your offensive growth?
Just not being one-dimensional. I think to times past, past few years, I think I just kind of settled a lot on the perimeter and kind of floated out there a lot. But, I just like the fact that I'm just going back to playing the way I know I can play inside and out. I know teams try to go small, and you put small as me, I can score in the post. I get to the free throw line, I can score in the mid-range. I'm a 3-level scorer. Obviously, I can shoot the 3. So I'm just, I think I'm scoring on all levels, and given the opportunity, you see what I can do.
In this game specifically tonight, a little more physical and chippy, 22 lead changes. What's kind of the key for you and the team to get over the hump in a game like that?
Just resiliency, man. I think it was the rebounding obviously is the thing that hurt us the most tonight. A couple of bad bounces, just us not, securing the ball. But, you can't ask for a better fight. I think that's what it was. The number 1 team in the league. Go toe to toe to them and taking overtime. We don't want any pity, but I think we're taking a step in the right direction. Heading to this last few weeks of the season.
You mentioned the rebound. I guess to dig a little bit deeper into that. I mean, you obviously got 10 yourself, and what kind of stood out to you? Do you see missed box out, or is it just more of a case of there's a lot of long rebounds? I mean, what stood out to you on the glass tonight?
I mean, it was a few things. I think that we just didn't secure the ball. I don't want to say it wasn't the effort. I think we're making making the effort to make the right plays, but I think that we just it's a matter of who wants it more, and we just didn't end up on the right side of things.
What did you like better defensively tonight? I mean, they were obviously still able to make some shots, but it seemed like you guys were able to make them work. What did you?
I think our presence was better. I think that you can get more physical and be up into the ball. You establish where you want to play early, and then you keep rolling with that throughout the game. I think there was a couple, chippy calls back and forth. It wasn't just us; they got a few as well, and that's the way you want to play the game. You want to be able to, be physical and assert your presence early.
Were you surprised a little bit how they were defending you and continuously leaving that three-point shot open?
Yeah, I was actually. I kind of was. I think I've played against Boston many times in the past. It's not the first time I've shot this well, but I mean, I'll take it.
And then going in, you got next 4, I think, on the road. What will, in general, this be about for this group? And can it maybe be good after not having many road games in the last couple of months?
This is going to be, I think, the toughest test of the season. This is obviously the most important. We're a team that struggled on the road. And, this is, I think it's a make or break point for us. I mean, that's the attitude we have to have. Our back's against the wall right now, and we have to go out there and fight and play like it.
Well, it's just a tough one. Obviously, you always want to win those games. I think we fought and learned from it. Just got to keep moving forward. We took one of the best teams and moved down to the wire in overtime. Just got to keep moving in the right direction, and now just focus on the next game.
You've played in a lot of big games in your young career in Milwaukee. You spoke to the intensity there. I mean, is there something here that this group maybe found a level that they can play at even in a loss that's going to be successful here for the final 21?
Yeah, I mean, you can see tonight we can compete with one of the best teams in the league. So we're a team that's learning, growing, and hopefully moving forward we'll be able to, like I said, take what we learned from tonight and implement into our next couple of games and get some wins.
I know you're still early into the acclimation process, but it seemed like there was a fair amount of chemistry, especially in the first half, that things were flowing pretty well. How do you feel that you are in adapting well?
I feel like I'm growing every day. Obviously, still learning a lot. Trying to learn where to be, where my teammates are going to be. Only my 3rd game in, but as time goes on, I'll continue to learn and get better with these guys.
4-game road trip coming up. This team has struggled on the road here lately. What's it going to take to have a successful 4 games here and to not dig yourself into a little bit of a hole out of the break?
Just sticking together, doing what we do, and like I said, carrying over some of the stuff we did tonight to this road trip.
I feel like there's a lot of things I could have done better in the game, and pretty much was a tough game. Trying to have my team win every time I can, and trying to make better decisions.
You've got a very intense style of play when you're out there. This game had a very intense feel for it. Did you feel like that kind of suited your style, that you were able to have your impact on the game while you were out there?
I love big games. They're a pretty good team, and I feel like we had the chance today to pretty much just show out what we're really able to do, and being able to compete, against great teams.
We just heard Rick compliment the fight that you guys had. Even in a loss, did you maybe find an intensity level or a fight that can work here down the stretch for you guys that's going to yield results?
For sure. I feel like today was a great opportunity to pretty much just come back from the break and just come out with a certain force. Even though we didn't win the game, I feel like we're going on the right path, and our goal is to win as many games as possible, and obviously make the playoffs.
You guys started the year strong on the road. It's been a challenge here for the last month plus, and you've got 4 straight coming up. What are you going to need to see here transfer to the road?
Pretty much just playing with certain intensity. Playing like we're playing at home. All of our fans, cheering for us and stuff like that. We also got to, stick with each other and trying to help each other be at our best.
Yeah, I mean, we were right there. It all comes down to just executing at the end. And I don't really have an answer for you. I think we responded really well. I feel like a team like Boston thought that a young team like us would go away, but we didn't. And we took some steps in the right direction.
I was going to say, but it seemed like defensive presence was on the list of that. You guys have talked about that so much. What did you like more from that tonight? What did you feel like you saw?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, just a presence to them feeling us, when they're guarding the ball and just making them feel uncomfortable. I think, during that rough stretch that we had, defense was an issue, and it wasn't, the coaching. It was us giving effort and making them feel us and just trusting the people behind us. And tonight I feel like we made a step in the right direction with that.
What the rebounding obviously continues to be an issue. I mean, tonight obviously was a little weird because a lot of those are longer ones, and I think it's a lot of wing rebounds. I mean, what stands out to you there? Do you is there issues you look at and say, man, we need to do this right, or was this just kind of a tough night?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can drill it as much as you want, but until, kind of we got to take ownership as players and myself included, just kind of stop watching the ball and go block someone out. And if your guy's not crashing, go helping someone else. The coaches do a great job of, drilling that with us. And, it's all about us, putting that to use on the floor.
And it's read and react in the moment sort of
Yeah.
thing. It's
We've had some unlucky ones,
Right.
for sure, but we can definitely get better on that end and block out our man or go help someone else out.
Career game for Myles tonight. What did
Yeah.
you see that allowed him to get going, and how have you seen his offensive game improve this year?
He's unreal on both ends of the floor. He's the best shot blocker in the NBA, and his ability to pick and pop is such a mismatch. And he hasn't really been the starting five since he's been here. And he's showing how great he really is in that role, by his ability to put pressure on the rim. And, when teams switch, he can shoot over guys. And he has that little mid-range. He can score from 3 levels. So, and then what he does defensively speaks for itself. He's just a really good player.
Obviously, it's tough to take a loss here, but I mean, how much does this set a positive tone, I guess, when you're coming out of the break and you're kind of looking down the home stretch? At least you can look at this and say, this is a team that fights.
Yeah, I mean, what do we have, 21 games left? Moral victories, shouldn't be a thing for us, but, the way we fought against arguably the best team in the NBA is a positive. They just made one more play than us, and, sometimes that happens, but the effort we had was there. You fight to the end, and when you play like that, you're not embarrassed that you got a loss. There's been some performances this year that we've that's just not us. And tonight I thought we played very well.